Hey, it's Alan Berg. Before we get into this episode, I'm starting something called Ask Me Anything. That's right. You submit your questions and they could become an entire episode or something that I answer at the end of an episode. To submit your questions, look for the red button at podcast.alanberg.com. That's right, podcast.alanberg.com. Click on the red button, submit your question, and maybe you'll hear it here on the podcast. Thanks. Are you approaching your leads with a defeatist attitude? Listen to this episode, see where I'm going with this. Welcome to another episode of the Wedding Business Solutions Podcast. I'm your host, Alan Berg. I'm a speaker, sales trainer, consultant, author, and I help businesses like yours sell more, profit more, and have a little more fun doing it. Enjoy this episode. Hi, it's Alan Berg. Welcome back to another episode of the Wedding Business Solutions Podcast. I'm listening to a book, New Sales Simplified by Mike Weinberg. And I like listening to books that don't necessarily apply directly to our industry or even my business, because I have to do sales as well. And this one, a lot of it's about more corporate type selling, people doing cold calling and things, which some of you are doing, some of you aren't. And it was interesting him talking about the most successful salespeople and people that are less successful or not successful. And this phrase came up: are you approaching your leads with a defeatist attitude? And what that means is, are you assuming that you're going to get ghosted? Are you assuming that they're going to be a price shopper? Are you assuming that they're going to beat you up on price? Are you assuming that it's going to take them forever to make a decision? And bringing that baggage with you is actually going to get you more of the results that you expect, because people are going to pick up on that. Now, I know we'd all like to think that we're not bringing that baggage with us, and that our complaining to our friends about this and getting their buy-in, like, yeah, it's happening to me too. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing as well, that we're not bringing that into the next sales call. But all of these unconscious things that happen in terms of the way we write and our body language and the tone of our voice and things like that will all affect how our customers will respond to us. And like it or not, it is affecting us when we do that. So can you flip the language and say that, yeah, that last one was a price shopper, but this next one is going to want my results. It's going to have a budget for what I do, and it's going to, want me to do their wedding, their event, or whatever it is that you're selling, because they can't get my results anyplace else. And you're approaching them all with that attitude. Now, many of you are getting a lot of leads you shouldn't be getting. Like, you shouldn't be getting some of these people that can't afford what you do because you didn't put any price on your website. So they have to reach out to get a price, and therefore you give them an idea price, they get ghosted. You ask them to get on the phone right away because you want to try to qualify them. You get ghosted because they're Gen Y and Gen Z, right? So all of these things that are affecting you going into the next one, saying, well, it's going to be more of that, more of that, more of that. I was talking to some friends today, to two different people, and we all agree on the same thing, which is most of you listening don't need to get more leads than you're getting now. You need to convert more of the leads that you're getting. And many of you actually need to get fewer leads than you're getting now, so you'll follow up better. So you won't be so inundated that you won't be able to do the 5, 6, 7, 8 follow-ups that it takes with some people to get them to convert. But again, not assuming that if they didn't respond to your first inquiry, they're not interested, or your second, that they're not interested, or your third, that they're not interested, right? When they inquire, they're interested. And if they're not getting back to you, it could be many different things, including they're busy, something else became a higher priority, or quite simply, what was that book or movie? They're just not that into you. Maybe they like the way someone else responded better, or someone else responded faster, or someone else made it easier to communicate with them. Maybe these are the things that are affecting it. And that's what I see more than not, is it's not that they weren't interested because they made the inquiry, they put you on the short list. It's that you're attracting either the wrong people, because you're not putting any pricing out there. Therefore, people, they love your photos, they love your reviews, and they have to reach out to find out that you're out of their budget. Never should have reached out in the first place if they knew that. Or you're trying to force people to do things the way you want as opposed to the way they want, because you're no longer in sync with them. At some point, you might have been the same generation and age as your clients and as your couples, and maybe now you're not. I like to say that in the 30 years I've been in the wedding and event industry, couples have gotten 5 years older. I got 30 years older. They got 5 years older. Wait a minute. That's not fair. It's not fair. True. It's true. It's true. Couples used to be an average of 24 or 25, and now they're about 30, and that's happened over 30 years. So you have to adapt to your customers so that you're going to reduce the friction, make it easier for them. But if we're bringing in this defeatist attitude, which is we're assuming that we're just going to get more of the same and more ghosting and more whatever, we're going to keep getting that because that's what we're focusing on and that's what we're putting out into the world. If you flip that and say, I'm going to assume that every lead is a good lead until proven otherwise, that every lead, because they already reached out, because they already like what they've seen, read, heard, watched, personally experienced, or whatever that made them reach out, that is going to make them want to continue the conversation with me, as long as I start to do things a little differently that are making it easier for them to have the communication the way they want, in the voice that they want, with the technology that they want, because they are the customer and they get to decide. Just the other day, I was on a Zoom call with some people and somebody needed to get a hold of someone that wasn't on the call and went to their website and there was no phone number. Went to their Instagram and it sent you to their website, which had no phone number. Meanwhile, they needed to reach this person now, or at least try to, but they couldn't because they couldn't find a phone number anywhere. Well, that friction means they are missing out on calls like this, inquiries and things that aren't happening because somebody still wants to pick up the phone. Maybe the mother of a bride or a groom or someone getting married, maybe they want to pick up the phone. I've told the story about my son getting married last year, and my daughter-in-law reached out to a rental company and wanted to have a call, and they told her, no, just look at the catalog on our website, tell us what you want, creating friction. So if you're assuming that, oh, I don't want to waste my time on the phone with another person because my time got wasted by somebody else, well, now you've made it so that the next person who's a legitimate prospect is not going to reach out, which happened in the case of my son's wedding. They went to a different rental company because this company wouldn't meet them where they were the way they wanted to. So are you approaching your leads with a defeatist attitude? Think about the next time you get a lead in. Are you excited that you got the lead? Or are you like, oh, that's going to be another price shopper. That's going to be another ghost or whatever. Flip that script. Make it that you're excited about it because that's somebody that is paying the bills, that is providing your retirement, that is paying for your college education or your kids' college education or whatever. Flip the script and say, yes, I need that lead. I'm going to work that lead because that is a good lead until proven otherwise. Well, hope that gives you something to think about. Thanks. Hi, it's Alan Berg. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Wedding Business Solutions podcast. If you have a suggestion for a future topic or guest, please go to podcast.alanberg.com and you can make your suggestion there. You can also do it at Ask Me Anything, which is a button on that page, or just email me at alan@weddingbusinesssolutions.com. And if you'd like to find out how I can help you with sales training, website review, consulting, or speaking for your group or organization, possibly at no cost to the organization, contact me directly, alan@weddingbusinesssolutions.com. Thanks again for tuning in.